In the world of tabletop war games, there is no easier way to get into a game than buying their starter set, especially if it's a two-player starter set that has everything in the box that you need to start playing to see if the game is something you want to keep playing. And Malifaux 4th Edition has been a really fun one, so let's talk about it. So a few months back, Malifaux was releasing all of this information about what was coming in 4th edition. And the one thing that stuck out to me huge was mobility. They were focusing on mobility. They wanted their new game to be something that was more mobile. And what they meant by that is more units jumping from building to building, climbing up high, having advantages and different things in doing that and moving your stuff. So it wasn't just I move my guys, you move your guys, we shoot at each other, kind of like the Civil War was. Okay. And so I was super excited for that. And when they sent me the two-player starter set, I didn't know what to expect. And when I opened it, I was super impressed. The two-player starter set comes with 2 full crews and all of the crew cards that go with them. If you haven't played Malifaux, it's really different from other skirmish games in that they do a lot of stuff with cards. And what I mean by that is they don't just roll dice. Technically, you have your deck, and it comes with 2 decks, one for each faction. It's 52 cards, just like a standard deck of cards, but they have their own symbols. You can use a standard deck of cards. You just need to know the difference, what a diamond is and what a club is in this game, because they have like tomes and rams and things like that. And they also sell cool special card packs that you can get on their website that, just a little more customizability. We got a ton of dice goblins out there. This allows you to be a deck goblin a little bit. But then they also have the cards for the game and for the characters. And these cards are basically going to be out on the table when you're playing. They have the hit points, things like that. You can mark them with markers to keep track of things. They make it very... You don't need an app to play our game. Here's everything that you need. It's right in front of you. It's on the table. It's in your hands, kind of thing. And some people love that. Some people don't. I am one of those people that I love it. I love having everything in my hands. The two-player box also comes with a nice quick start guide, which is actually a pretty heavy-duty little book. And it walks you through how to get started in playing the game. And it also comes with a ton, and I mean it's just a ton of tokens and different things you can use. I haven't 3D printed a case for those yet. And it also has, little measuring tools so you can measure distances and things like that. Like I said, to play with the 2 factions that come in this box, it has everything that you need to play. And if you want to learn more rules, their stuff is online. You can go in and look. You can find the whole rule book there, and you can figure out anything that you need to figure out. The community is fantastic as well. They want more players, and so they will help you anytime you need help. So fantastic community, fantastic game, fantastic starting box. And that's not why I liked this one so much. So what I liked the most about this 2-player box set is the crews and their models. And what I mean by that is you get 2 distinct crews, two crews that you can play with one and a friend can play with another, however you want to do it. All the cards, everything for them. And it's not just that. These models are pre-assembled. So you get them right out of the box. You can glue them to a base and you can start playing as soon as the glue dries. I'd like that for a 2-player box set. And I know that sometimes building the miniatures is the best part of the hobby. Some people love that. It's like, your own personal little Lego, and then you can paint it after if you want, or you can just throw it in the pile with all your other gray minis. But these ones are ready right out of the box. They're pretty clean. You don't have to do a ton of touch up on them if you want to paint them. And they're so weird and different that they are a joy to paint. And every one of them is just cool in its own unique way. And basically you got your robot faction and you've got your underwater faction. And if you pull up how they've painted these, that's my second favorite part. The paint scheme that they put out for these is just bright colors. And I feel like it's awesome, you know, especially with like yellow robots and things. Like, that's great. And anything that's underwater, you're going to want to paint it those underwater colors, those bright pinks, those blues, those neons, things like that. And so you can do that with this. It's an excellent exercise in not painting, well, let's be honest, grimdark. It's nice and bright and fun. Okay, there is a place for grimdark. You can paint these grimdark if you want. I'm not saying that you can't do that, but it's like they're pushing you to go in a lighter way that's different and just makes this game feel like an entirely different world from most of the other games that you've played. And something I just wanted to share as I was painting these models. And I painted two of them. I grabbed two out of the box, the two that stuck out to me the most. And I was just like, yeah, I got to paint these. They're so awesome. They're so cool. I got to give these a shot. And there are some that I haven't painted yet, like this flipping jellyfish thing, that I am looking so forward to, but I also want to give it a good amount of time. And so this might be a little in the future before I paint this. But fantastic, beautiful models. And I learned what I think they mean when they say too thin coats. I've heard that. I've heard that my whole hobby painting life, that you want to do too thin coats. I mean, there's a freaking paint brand called Too Thin Coats by Duncan, the guy who used to do the Warhammer painting tutorials. And I thought, what does it matter? You know, if you put a nice, like a thicker coat on, you only have to do one. It's got everything that you need. And it's not like it's going to block anything. You can still see it. It's fine, especially with the paints that they have out now. Like, one thin coat should be plenty. What I learned is that especially over black, sometimes a thin coat is going to be a little see-through in areas. And you just put that on, and guess what? It's okay. Because real things aren't just one solid color. They're different shades of that color. And when you're doing too thin coats, it just makes your job so much easier to hit those twice and go over those areas and change them to look how you want. Especially, I noticed this with the dress of the Siren character. Purple is one of those colors that sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not. And this P3 purple, I love. I think it's a perfect, vibrant purple. And too thin coats was perfect. And it allowed me to move the dress around in a way that I thought, this thing's got highlights, it's got shadows. It looks the best material that I've ever painted for a dress. And so I just thought I would kind of share that about how too thin coats, if you have to do two, don't look at it as oh man, I'm going to waste so much time. Just get that first one on there. And then with that second one, really use it to bring out those lights and darks that you want to do. And you would normally do during a highlight phase, because you still go back and you still do your highlights. But now instead of just having a low light and a highlight, you have a nice glaze in between them. So anyway, just wanted to share that. Love that. Love this box. And it just leaves me with the question for you in that, what do you think makes a great two-player starter box? If you had an ideal two-player starter box, what would be in it? I mean, sure, this has everything you need to play, but could it come with an actual tape measure? Do you want specialty items? Do you want just the bare bones to keep the price down? What do you like? And with that being said, would you prefer to build your own models right at the start, or have them pre-built so you can just sit down and play? This was a fun box. Malifaux 4th edition, way different than 3rd. Still has a lot of the same quirky coolness. The lore is fantastic. Malifaux is definitely a game worth looking into. And it's probably one of my top 3 tabletop games. Okay, and if you like that and you want to learn more about it and more about my other 2 favorite tabletop games, stick around. Like, subscribe, and hit that little bell, and you'll be notified whenever we put a video out. And we go over a lot of things. We go over new games. We go over painting. I'm trying to get better at painting tutorials so I don't feel like such a just noob giving you terrible advice. And I feel like I'm getting better. These models, big surprise, I feel like they're the best I've ever done, because every one I paint I feel like is better than the last. And I loved painting these. So Thank you for sticking around. And as always, don't spend so much time building your world that you forget to spend some time in it. Until next time.